Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to present contributions towards the victims of the Roseville fire. Let us now welcome the Vice Chair of the SLIA, Mr. Philip Shallery, please.
Good morning, one and all. And a happy and prosperous New Year to us all, although it has not been so happy and prosperous to the victims of the fire. I am here to represent St. Lucia International Association and by extent the diaspora. So we always make the effort to make a difference. And this is why we are here contributing whatever we can to assist the victims of the fire. So let us hope that they too can get a bit of relief from their distress. Thank you.
We are heartbroken for all those affected by the Roseville fire on New Year's Day. There were over 20 people displaced due to this tragic circumstance. Thanks to Mrs. Doreen Gustav and her team of the Ministry of Equity for their supportive role and contributions. To our generous, loving people of St. Lucia, we were able to fill all those baskets with donated essential items such as blankets, diapers, toiletries, groceries, clothing items, shoes, and school supplies. Our friends at the St. Lucia Diaspora Chapter, Tapia Hospital Dialysis Unit, Mendy's Beauty Salon, Mirage and Company Limited, Full Gospel, Harvest Youth Ministry, volunteers, we say thank you. Though they are not here today, I would like to make a special mention of Ms. Risa Joseph and Mr. Stan Bishop, who ensured they encourage fellow citizens to support the calls for aid for the people affected. We are honored to be a part of a community that comes together and helps during the most tragic times, which is in keeping with our vision. Volunteer St. Lucia will seek to add value to national events and community life in St. Lucia through an elite pool of skilled, trained, and experienced volunteers whose attitudes, skills, and knowledge will be tapped to support these experiences. By coming together to volunteer, the sense of solidarity and connections among people working together are also strengthened. This is especially important for the most isolated and vulnerable communities where other types of support are limited. We pledge to continue to provide support in such situations with the help of the St. Lucian public. Volunteers strive for a better world through their actions. In the face of many crises, volunteerism gives us hope. And in general, local volunteers build a bond that holds the society together. I thank you.
We now call on the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Irene Senkwa, to just say a few words.
Let me, on behalf of the Office of the Prime Minister, on behalf of volunteer, as coordinator and the unit, extend our gratitude for the work that you have done in ensuring that the victims of the Roseville fire get some relief, and all those corporate society persons who have contributed so generously. We want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. It is your assistance that allows us to go a long way in helping our fellow citizens. And fire is something that can happen to anyone at any time. And so we need to always be in a position to assist our fire victims and persons who find themselves in such disasters, natural disasters, and so on. So I want to thank the Ministry of Equity, Ms. Doreen Gustav, who's now the acting director of NIMO. So she's almost in the same area, and we'll be looking forward to her assistance. And I want to also thank our various volunteers. They work very hard, and you can see the lovely baskets there, and I know that it will go a long way in ensuring that our victims get some relief, and we hope that it will not just stop here, but we'll continue to look out to assist them in the rebuilding effort in terms of getting the houses and so on, because apart from the foodstuff, you need to look at your housing and so on. So we still want to call on our corporate society when we call on you to assist in the rebuilding effort in terms of actual location and so on. So on behalf again of the Office of the Prime Minister, let me thank you for a job well done. And I look forward to the victims having that rebuilding in 2019 and not thinking, as as our gentleman said earlier, it has not been so happy, but I'm hoping that going forward, he will see it as a happy and a prosperous New Year 2019. Thank you.
And finally, we would like to call on the President of the Roseville Fire Committee, Ms. Nikki Nelson, to say a few words.
On behalf of the Roseville Fire Victims, the Roseville Fire Victims Committee, and the entire Roseville community, we are indeed very thankful for this kind expression of generosity, humanity, kindness, and togetherness that is being demonstrated here this morning. On the morning of January 1st and the following days, those affected by the monster of a fire had no clue as to how they would fend for themselves and their families. It is therefore through efforts such as yours that we demonstrate our resilience as a people, our sense of humanity, and our general concern for each other. Your effort and your donations that we have received this morning gives meaning to the expression, I am my brother's keeper. So, once again, on behalf of the Roseville Fire Victims, the Relief Committee, the Roseville community, I say a special thank you to all the agents involved in putting this donation together. I would especially like to thank the Ministry of Social Transformation. I cannot remember all the ministries, but there are persons at the ministries and persons out there that I would really like to thank. And most of all, I would like to thank a heartfelt thank you to our Prime Minister. Sir, I don't know if you will see it or you will hear it, but from me and my family of the fire victims, I have called everyone my family. Because when you look at us, we've been so together that we're like a family. So they're all my family. I would like to thank you profoundly on behalf of all of us for coming to our assistance. And I so look forward to working with you and the rest of St. Lucia. I would also like to thank our parliamentary rep, Sarah Floyd Bobray. I would like to thank my crew who works together with me on the committee. I would like to thank God, very importantly, because had it not been for God, there were several of them who we would just find ashes from. I would also like to thank my right hand, my telephone directory, my call when I need you, my guide, my understander, Mrs. Diane Felicien. I thank you very much for always being there for me and for the fire victims, because without you, I would not even understand where I'm going. So thank you so very much. And Mrs. Gustav, thank you very much. Mrs. Gustav, I call you whenever I don't have answers. You're always there to answer. To my two favorite ladies along the way with me, I thank you very much. Oh, I would like to thank the committee from Soufrière who have come together to assist, Babonneau Committee, the Grosile Sports Committee. There are so many that I really cannot remember every name. I would like to thank St. Lucia at large because they all did play their part. And we so look forward to going back. I know the memories of the homes cannot be replaced, but we look forward to going back to home, which is Roseville. It has been home. I wasn't born there, but it has been home for me for the past 43 years. So I am very much looking forward to going back home. And that means I am working hard as to getting our homes back together. And I will not leave anyone without a home as long as it's within my reach. There are certain individuals, and I would also like to thank the mayor of Castries who opened his doors to receive all the items donated to us. There are so many persons that I would like to thank, and I'm saying thank you to everybody. You know yourselves. I cannot remember all the names, but you know yourselves, and I so look forward to working with all of you. So I know when I call, everybody is going to come running to me. I know that from deep within. Thank you.